Saturday afternoon in Athens, and Georgia with the lead at the end of one rotation, 48-9-7-5 for the Gym Dogs on vault. They lead by 2.5 tenths over NC State, who opens 48-7-5 on bars. Week one of the 2024 season as we kick off a new year in the sport. Sarah, so much to be excited about as we look at some news and notes in the preseason. And you got to start with Oklahoma, the two-time defending national champions, picked number one again, looking like the middle of a dynasty in the making for Oklahoma. But if there's going to be a team to challenge them, it may well come out of the SEC with 8 teams in the preseason poll, including the number 2 and number 3 schools in Florida and LSU. And as we've said, the ACC has its inaugural season of college gymnastics. NC State, one of those teams that will compete for a conference championship on March 23rd. So a lot to be excited about for you and I and any fan of college gymnastics as a sport this year.
Absolutely, and the rise of popularity of college gymnastics, I mean, we are seeing Coliseums sell out, we're seeing TV ratings go up. It's just a really exciting time to be a fan of college gymnastics.
Yeah, a terrific crowd on hand today at Stegman Coliseum to see Georgia compete against NC State. You see Georgia there at number 16 in the preseason poll, but boy, the SEC is just loaded once again. You look at every team in the top 25, 2, 3, 8, 9, 12, 15, 16, and 17. And that's not even to mention, Sarah, Oklahoma, who will be coming into the conference in 2025. You could throw the number 1 team in the country and a potential 3-time defending national champion into the mix. This is just, it does not get any stronger as a collegiate gymnastics conference.
I mean, just so many powerhouses in this sport, and with these rankings, you never know how they're going to turn out because you see teams like Kentucky who are really on the rise, Missouri coming into their own over the last couple of seasons, Georgia with the number 1 recruiting class this season in their freshman team. I mean, anything is possible.
All right, and speaking of Georgia and those freshmen, it was actually a senior that led the way for the Gym Dogs with a 9.85, Katie Finnegan on vault.
Huge 1.5-year Chinko, able to just take a tiny hop on the landing. And then, of course, over to bars.
On the other side for NC State, Maddie Hall.
She is such a great bar worker, swinging all the way through this routine, hitting handstands. Take a look at this dismount. Sets it up nicely, double tuck, and just nails that landing. Sticky feet, they do not move.
She majored in business administration with a minor in speech communication.
We head to rotation number 2 when we come back. Georgia on the uneven bars, NC State to vault, with Georgia in the lead by a quarter point. Look at Courtney Kupets-Carter in her 7th season as head coach of the Georgia Gym Dogs. We look at the preseason summary for Georgia, ranked 16th in the preseason poll after finishing 20th last season. And then part of the reason for that bump, you look at the 8 freshmen coming in, a number 1 recruiting class in the country from our friends at College Gym News, 5 sophomores and then 5 combined seniors and graduate students. Sarah, it's the right mix. And unfortunately, Georgia's just a little short on numbers right now because of some injuries, some folks that they hope to get back. And this is a team that I think Coach Kupets-Carter feels like can be stronger at the end of the season than maybe they are right here.
She definitely has a lot of confidence in her athletes, and if there's anyone that can lead this team, it is her. She has such a storied career herself, not only at Georgia, but at the Olympic level. She knows how to deal with adversity, and she knows how to lead her athletes through those challenges.
Well, she had a really difficult Achilles injury during her career, came back stronger than ever, and capped off her career with a team and individual national titles. As we look at our meet summary from today, Georgia in the lead by 2.5 tenths at the end of one rotation. NC State led by 9/8 from 2 of their true freshmen. Talk about those jitters. None to be found for Maddie Hall and Katie Harper, 9/8 each, along with a 9/8 from Peyton Childs. And then Katie Finnegan led the way with a 9.85 on the vault. But both teams, I think, Sarah, are looking to pick up those scores a little bit here in the second rotation.
Both teams should be able to really settle in, enjoy their gymnastics. They've got 1 rotation under their belt, and as you get further into the competition, it's usually the athletes are able to kind of calm those nerves and just do their gymnastics.
All right, here's a look at the vault lineup for NC State, led off by sophomore Meg Adler. This is just her second career vault. Vaulted once last season, a 9.725. She leads off.
Leads the team with a Yurchenko full. You saw a sizable hop on the landing, but just like the Georgia team, they're focused on doing powerful vaults. Kim Landris wants to see them stick those landings, but as always, it's better to take a hop forward or backwards rather than under rotate and take a hop forward.
So Adler, who Kim Landris praised as having a really great preseason, earning that leadoff spot on vault, getting things started for the Wolfpack, and now for the second time in as many events, Amanda Cashman, the fifth year, will lead off for Georgia, this time on the uneven bars.
She starts off with a big mistake from the fifth year to Tkachev. That's normally something that she could do in her sleep, so pretty uncharacteristic mistake from her. Take another look at it. Just not able to get the rotation around the bar, and her hands just slip right off. Unfortunate to come at the top of the routine and now placing a big challenge on the rest of this bar's lineup, but like we said, she has that experience to rely on, so she can go back and essentially start the routine over and try to just get through this set. She's going to repeat the Tkachev. Nicely done there, fighting for that handstand. Toe on to shoot over combination. Amanda is an athlete that's normally very comfortable in this leadoff position, so pretty uncharacteristic mistake finishing her routine with a double layout. Able to hang on by her toes to get that landing. It's definitely a routine that she'll want back.
No shortage of pressure on this Georgia team early, Sarah. You look at having to go 5 up, 5 count on vault. It's basically what they're going to do now on bars, right? That's the score that you're going to want to drop, and Georgia's in another position where they need to hit 5 in a row. Meanwhile, we go back to NC State, Maddie Hall, who got her career off to such a great start with that 9-8 bars routine, continuing her day in the all-around.
And another great set from her. Yurchenko let out full, tiny shift back on the landing. But a nice clean vault. Of course, the Yurchenko full just from a 9.95, so fighting for every single 10th since it's not out of that 10.0 start.
Well, she's got to be really happy with her day so far at the midpoint. Joining the two fifth-year all-arounders, Maddie Hall in her first collegiate meet. Opened with a 9.8. We'll see what she scores there on vault. Now back to Sydney Fitzgerald.
See, this is her first career appearance on the uneven bars, and this is a brand new routine for her. So talk about pressure being packed on. Not only is she coming after a fall, but this will be the very first time that she competes this routine in this setting.
Yeah, I thought one of the interesting things, Sarah, as we were talking with Courtney Kupets-Carter earlier this week, was the fact that they talked about this routine being ahead of schedule. She thought that maybe they were making those changes to be ready a year from now. Fitzgerald only a sophomore, but she said she took to it really well. They feel good about where it is, and we're going to see it now in a pressure-packed environment.
She starts off with that new combination. She'll do it to Tkachev, right down to a shoot over. Nicely done. That is the combo that the coaches were so impressed that she picked up so quickly. Just her dismount left. Double layout. Had to take 2 little shifts back, little steps on the landing. But overall, what a great way for her to come out and hit a routine. Take another look at Tkachev straight to shoot over. A difficult combination, finishing with the double out. You see those feet just can't quite hold on to the landing, but overall a great set from her.
Yeah, she should be thrilled with that in her first collegiate routine in competition. And Georgia's going to need some more of that following the early fall. Back to NC State, Lex Ortega after a fall on bars here on vault.
Another Yurchenko full, sizable hop on the landing, but love to see how much power she brings to the vault lineup. We'll take another look here. Look at how she gets her arms back on the block, a little bit of soft elbows on the table. A nice, powerful vault.
That's following opening scores of 9-7-2-5 from Adler and another 9-8 from Maddie Hall, who's gone back-to-back 9-8. So we'll await the score there from Ortega as NC State is halfway home on the vault here in rotation 2.
Really excited to see this routine from Addie. Once again, dealing with the pressure. We've got one hit routine under our belt for Georgia. Also her first career appearance on the bars. A little bit short on that first handstand, but she starts with a shapash straight to pack salto combination. You notice she gets pretty far over the bar on that half turn. That'll be a deduction. You want to hit those handstands right on top. That's one of the biggest things the judges are looking for, but able to hold on to the stick. Ends with that exclamation point. That is also what the judges want to see. Take a look at her double layout.
Nice finish there. You can see the smile.
She's definitely happy to have that first career routine under her belt and to cap it off with a step lift.
So Georgia has survived the pressure so far. They've hit 2 routines there. You see the 9-7-5 come up from Fitzgerald. Back to Ashley Knight, freshman front entry vault.
That is a vault that Coach Landers is so excited about. Really dynamic athlete, does that front entry that's different than most of the Yurchenkos that you'll see throughout the competition today. See, she gets a nice block off the vault, front pike half. A little bit of a sideways hop, but you'll notice that she stays in between those 2 white lines. Just like on the floor exercise, those white lines indicate out of bounds. If you're able to stay inside the lines, you escape extra deduction, but they'll definitely take for the hop sideways on the landing.
Now looking at Katie Finnegan, who will be up 4th for Georgia on the uneven bars. That early call from Amanda Cashman, putting some pressure on the rest of this Georgia lineup. Sydney Fitzgerald responded with a 9-7-5. We saw a hit routine a moment ago from Addie Wall.
The back half of this Georgia bars lineup is so impressive. You'll see a lot of really big gymnastics, huge release moves and combinations. Potential for them to get some really big scores. Katie starts off with a ray. Nicely done. Transition down to the low bar, pack salto. You see the feet come apart just a little bit. Needs to find this landing, full twisting double. Small hop back, but you can see her holding it and trying to really sell it to the judges.
Well, and Sarah, I do think one thing that we've seen is the point of emphasis as we look at vault right now. You talk about landings being important on vault, and you said that kind of step into the salute, trying to get away from that. I think it's been good. We've seen gymnasts really try to go the opposite way, where you might, if you were a little iffy on that landing, just step right into the salute and try to paper over it. Now you're seeing gymnasts go the opposite way, really hold on and dig in for those landings, which I think is better overall.
Definitely, and a great landing from her on that Yurchenko full. Something that these athletes had to work really hard on in the preseason training is finding that landing and holding it for a full second, showing the judges that they have control just like that before they turn and salute. We like to joke about the college stick where you land and then quickly turn to the judges and try to minimize that deduction, but that is no more. You have to show control to avoid that 10th being taken from your final score.
All right, well, Sarah, you talked about some of the home run potential in the back half of this Georgia bars lineup. And a big part of that is Jeffrey Scott, the sophomore, went 9.95 as a freshman, competed every meet last season on bars for Georgia, and they are counting on her to have a big sophomore year here in Athens.
If there are two routines in this bars lineup that have 10.0 potential, they come from Jeffrey Scott and then the anchor Lily Smith. Jeffrey's routine is just jam-packed. She's actually capable of doing much harder skills than she's going to compete today, if you can even believe it. This is an incredibly difficult routine right from the top. Starting off with a huge ray to pack salto. Just a little bit close on the bar, but keeping control. Van Leeuwen up to the high bar, fighting for those handstands. Watch this, such a big dismount, double layout. Tiniest of hops on the landing. She's hoping the judges didn't even notice the shift in her feet, but wow, what a great job from her. Check out how high she flies on these release moves, starting from that first release, big, I mean, it's just gigantic gymnastics, really impressive to watch. Finishing with the double layout, and just the smallest shift on the landing.
Yeah, that opening release there is a wow, and we'll see what the judges do with it as you see a 9.85 come up for Emily Shepard. High score so far, and now Chloe Negrete.
Wow, great way to cap off that vault. I mean, just incredible control in the air, and she really, you could see her toes digging into the mat to hold on to that landing. Great job from her.
We really haven't talked about Negrete a whole lot yet. She is the third of those fifth years. Ortega and Shepard are the two all-arounders, but Negrete is a really talented gymnast as well. She was the College Gym News 2023 Comeback Gymnast of the Year after she missed the entire 2022 season. So to have her back for a fifth year is part of the luxury of this NC State veteran lineup that they've got. And from there, we'll go to Lily Smith, the Georgia freshman. You talked about it, Sarah, potential 10-0. And Courtney Kupats-Carter raved about her potential, her line, the technical beauty that she is able to compete with, and really looking forward to seeing her make her collegiate debut here on bars.
You won't see quite as much difficulty in this routine, but I mean, you said it, the lines and just the technical perfection that she's able to perform with. Look at the toe point and the extension all the way throughout her body. Finishing those handstands right on top of the bar. Full twisting double back. Wow. What an incredible way to start off your bars career as a freshman. The team is so pumped for her. That was absolutely stunning.
I mean, she just looks so composed throughout. Like you said, she has that line, but also just took her time, spotted the landing, just no visible jitters or anything of any kind. This is a beautiful first collegiate routine. Wow.
She was in no rush. It was as if she was saying, everyone watch me. Beautiful job.
Exhibition vault now for NC State senior Krista Zoltovitz.
Another great Yurchenko layout full. That was one that they really actually could have used in the lineup. A beautiful landing from her. Great control.
Yeah, I think that certainly would have scored. Negrete, by the way, you can see the score there in the overall vault scores for NC State. Negrete closed it out on a high note with a 9.875, and NC State actually just a tick ahead of Georgia on vault with a 49.025. So again, kind of that magic 49 number for those gets you a 196. And then NC State would certainly sign for on the road today at Stegman. And Negrete, a high mark is the home crowd applauds at least one 10-0 from one of the judges. What a way to start for Lily Smith in your first collegiate routine.
I mean, talk about a boost of confidence to go out and just straight out of the gate have a judge flash at 10.0. A lot of times it takes a little bit of time for you to establish your name in the collegiate setting and get the respect of the judges, but I mean, they just could not deny how gorgeous that routine was.
Courtney Coupette's Carter described it as a 10-0 bars routine if there's no deductions, and she goes out and backs it up with a 9.975. What a way to begin your collegiate career. And how about Georgia after starting with a fall from Amanda Cashman, hitting 5 routines to close out bars? Sarah, just a terrific performance.
I mean, just incredible, dealing with adversity on both teams are dealing with adversity, having to come back from falls and doing a great job so far.
98.150 for Georgia at the midpoint as they get some big performances on bars. They've got the lead and we're halfway home in the 2024 season opener.